People who, I don't know how to cut hair don't give everybody a haircut for the holidays. So just because you knit does not mean you need to knit holiday gifts. Hello, fiber friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about patterns to knit for holiday gifting. So if that sounds like it will be of interest to you, I hope you'll stick around. Hello, knitting friends. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Kristen, and today we're going to be talking about knitting for the holidays. It is the middle of November, somehow. If you have not started your holiday gift knitting, now is the time. So today we are going to be talking about good patterns for the people on your gift knitting list. I'm going to be sharing 10 patterns, including my own recently released pattern that I think would make a lovely holiday gift. As usual, all of these patterns are in a bundle linked in the description box, and there are some extra patterns in there as well, but today we're going to be talking about 10. So as I do every year, I would like to start off with the caveat that you are not required to knit presents for people for the holidays. Just because you knit does not give you that obligation. People who know how to do taxes don't do taxes for people for the holidays. People who, I don't know how to cut hair don't give everybody a haircut for the holidays. So just because you knit does not mean you need to knit holiday gifts. Knitting for yourself and yourself only is a completely valid choice. However, I know that we all do, for varying reasons, do a lot of holiday gift knitting, whether from a sense of obligation or because we enjoy it, but probably somewhere in between. So with that caveat in place, you don't have to knit. If you are going to knit, then maybe this will be a video you want to check out. All right, so as I said, I'm going to be sharing 10 patterns that I think are good for holiday gift knitting. And when I mean good for holiday gift knitting, I mean relatively small, probably using a heavier weight yarn, and nothing super complicated. So I'm not sharing like sweater patterns, okay? We've got about 6 weeks when I'm recording this until Christmas. Okay, so we've got about a month until Hanukkah. And I know from many different cultures and traditions, there are other holidays coming up in December. We don't have a lot of time. So we want relatively small, easy to knit projects that are also going to be fun for us to knit. So let's see what we've got. All right, so the first one I want to share with you, because I think this is going to be good for a lot of different people on your list. It's very unisex, it's very kind of one size fits all, and that is the Autumn Tales Cowl. This is a pattern by Ozetta, whose real name is Haley Smedley. This is available in 3 sizes, and you knit this holding a worsted and a lace weight together, which is basically going to give you an Aran weight, or you could probably just use an Aran weight yarn. Let's see what the yardage is. Well, since it's holding double, it's a little hard to estimate the yardage, but it says 900 to 1150 yards total. Presumably that's holding 2 yarns, so you would need about half of that per yarn. This pattern is available on Ravelry for $6.50, and like I said, I think this is going to be perfect for almost anybody on your list. A child, an adult, male, female, whatever. This is going to be great. It is mostly garter stitch, so it's going to be relatively easy for you. It has a really nice finishing detail along the edges. Big cozy cowl neck, great for everybody. I really want to knit one of these for myself. We all know, that I am a fan of the Dickie. I think it has an important place in our winter accessories wardrobe, and I think this is going to be a great pattern. You don't even have to know who it's for. You can just start, and then when Christmas gets here or Hanukkah gets here, whatever your holiday is, you have it, and you can just give it to whoever is on your list that you haven't gotten to yet. So I think this is a great all-purpose pattern. So again, that one is the Autumn Tales Cowl. Next up, in terms of something that is going to work for a lot of people on your list, is a recently released pattern from Wool and Pine. This is the Bindle Hat, and this is knit using lots and lots of scraps. So you really probably don't have to go out and buy anything for this. You've got the yarn already in your stash. So Bindle Hat is a stash busting adventure that turns fingering weight scraps into a thick textural fabric using the Latvian braid technique. So this is going to be really fun for you to work on as well. So each color is created by holding 4 strands together. You're going to be able to mix all of those sock yarn scraps. They've got lots of examples here on the pattern page, so you can see, there's some that it's a little bit more neutral and some that are very bright and colorful. But this is, especially if you knit a lot of socks and you have a lot of scraps, this is a great project. All you're going to need then is one main color yarn to kind of tie everything together at the brim. So the pattern includes, it looks like 4 sizes, but pretty flexible. So it's got toddler, kids, adult small, adult large. It's a hat. It doesn't need to be, super precise. And it is available for, did I say that? It's available for $5. And they have a standing bundle that 3 or more of their patterns and you save 20%. So it begins with the ribbed brim, and then the body of the hat is worked flat. There's some short row shaping, and it is seamed with a 3-needle bind off. So this one does have a couple of a bit more advanced techniques, but you are knitting this up on you're knitting this up on a US 10. So this is going to be really fast to come together. And again, they've got it sized for basically anybody on your list. So this is another one you can knit it up, not have to worry about exactly who it's for necessarily at the beginning. You can then give it away to whoever is still on your list when the holidays get here. So they do have 50 projects here, presumably from testers. So you can see lots of different takes on this, but I think this is a really cute project and a really great way to use up all of those sock yarn scraps we all somehow end up with. All right, if you want something actually festive for the holiday season, then this next one is, I think, going to be a great choice. And this is another one that is going to not really going to work for kids, but going to be working pretty well for any adult. And that is the Winter Doodle Cup Cozy. So these are coffee cup cozies with these adorable little Christmas prints on them, especially if you've got like coworkers you want to give something, simple and cute to. Again, we're going to use scrap yarn for this. We don't need to know anybody's size. It's just going to fit over a standard kind of coffee cup. And it is adorable and festive. So this is a pattern by Jamie Lomax. It is available on Ravelry for $4. There are 6 doodle motifs. So we've got reindeer, strings of lights, ornaments, snowmen, trees, and snowy cabin. So snowy cabin and what was the other one? Snowman. Those are pretty holiday neutral. Those are just for the winter, but this is really cute for basically, again, anybody on your list. It uses DK weight yarn. It says DK light worsted or sport weight yarn. And the total for each little cup cozy is 15 to 20 grams. So again, you can probably pull this out of scrap yarn. These are going to knit up super quickly because they're so tiny and they're just adorable. And they're going to make people smile. I really love these. And if you're familiar with Jamie Lomax, she's got all of these different like doodle things, doodle cowl, doodle whatever, with like mix and match color work motifs. Lots of them for the holidays. I think she sells them in like sets of cards, so you can like kind of mix and match them. It says 2024, so I don't know if she is planning to come out with a 2025, but she's got all kinds of these little doodle things, really quick projects, using up your scrap yarn, and these are particularly adorable. I just love them, and they're so festive. Next up is a project that I have knit myself several times. I have not knit one for myself yet. I would really like to. I've knit one for my husband and one for my dad, and that is the Basset hat. This is a really fun knit, and it works up pretty quickly because you're using a pretty heavy yarn. So you're using an Aran and a lace weight held together. You don't have to have the lace weight. You could just do the Aran weight. I believe in the past what I have done is to use Durham Natura Gilead held double with the Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair, and that has worked up nicely. And this is just a great pattern for, again, pretty much anybody on your list. I really love this one. So it's available on Ravelry for $6.47. It is by Nabita Jorat, and the pattern includes 3 sizes. So I believe when I have made, it actually has, so both times you can see it has these tassel ties. She also has another option there for adding a button so you can fasten the ear flaps under your chin, but I have not tried that one. It is knit top down. It is knit in 1x1 rib, and then it has this folded over detail surrounding the whole thing, and that is really the most difficult part, mostly because it's not a circle anymore. You're working around like the front flap, down the sides, around the flap, so you've got all of these stitches on your needles, and they are not in a circle. That's really just the trickiest part, but it's fine, and it gives it a really nice finish. So I personally love this one and can vouch for the pattern as I've made it several times. I would say I've not checked my gauge when making this pattern. It's a hat. It is, it was intended in both cases for men, so I just picked like I think the second size and went with it. It doesn't have to have a precise fit. It's not meant to be close fitting, and that has worked out fine. However, I will note that, occasionally I'll throw my husband's hat on. That front flap for me is very high up. So if I were to knit it for myself, I would shrink that down a little bit. I think that front flap is just a little too long. Although again, I think I knit him the size 2, so maybe on the size 1, it's a more reasonable length, but I do find that front flap a little long. But overall, this is a great pattern. It's just so cute. So again, that one was the basset hat. All right, the next one I want to talk about are the Rodin mitts. This is a pattern by Isolde Teague, and it is available on Ravelry for 6 Great British pounds or $8.24, or you can buy the whole book. It's part of a 6-pattern ebook, which is her Knitworthy 7, which you can get for 20 Great British pounds or $27.46. So this is another project that I have made. I believe I made these for my husband a couple of years ago. It works up quickly. It's done in worsted weight yarn. It's great unisex, men, women, and she's got sizes from extra small through extra large, 5-inch up to 9-inch hand circumference. That's definitely going to take you down into the kid range as well. So this is a really easy, straightforward pattern, but it has this really nice shape with the thumb gusset, which, for you as the knitter, makes it interesting to knit. So it says, these are the perfect gift for everyone, showcasing a minimalist style with stretchy, comfy rib and a firmer ribbed cuff. And let's see, it uses worsted weight yarn, but you could probably, if what you've got in your stash is like a heavier DK, or, you can probably fudge that a little bit. And the total yardage goes from 85 up to 250 yards. So again, you can definitely probably do some stash busting for this one. So easy, straightforward pattern. Isolde's patterns are always very clear, very, very well written and easy to follow. And these are going to work for basically anybody on your list. And I don't know about you, but I am always looking for fingerless mitts this time of year. Even with the heat on, it's cold in the house, but I still need to type or I still need to knit. These are very handy, at least in my personal opinion. So again, those are the Rodin mitts by Isolde. Now, this one is a little bit more utilitarian, but I like this idea because everywhere we go now, we're bringing our own bags. We're not getting the plastic grocery bags where it's great to just have your own bag, whether you are a man or a woman. So I really think the dumpling bag, which is a pattern by Jeannie Lee, is going to be a great choice for, okay, maybe it's a little bit female coded, but I think it could work for anybody on your list. So this is knit up in Purl Soho's Blackbird linen, but let's see, what about that? That is a DK weight linen, or, probably would work also well in cotton or some kind of plant fiber. Probably not wool, but who knows? There are over 1,000 projects on Ravelry, so you can see all the different yarns that people have used for this. But I think it's a very minimalist style, easy to carry. You can, depending on the size you make, you can carry your library books, you can carry your quick trip to the grocery store, whatever, which I think really makes it useful for pretty much anybody. It says it uses approximately 165 yards, and this looks pretty straightforward. Like if you wanted to make a larger bag, it looks like it would be very easy to resize this. You know, maybe you use a heavier yarn, maybe you use bigger needles, but you know, because we're not talking about the fit of a garment, something that has like a precise decrease rate or increase rate or anything like that. It's pretty much, squares and rectangles. This would be pretty easy to resize if you wanted to make a bigger or a smaller bag. But I just think this would be really useful for pretty much anybody. If you like to embroider, you could add something to it. If you use some duplicate stitch and add something, a little something to the front. It's a little bit like a blank slate. You can decorate it as you will or not at all, but it makes a nice, sort of very useful project, but still something handmade. So again, that one is the dumpling bag. You can get that. It is available for free over Pearl Soho's blog. Now, I have been all about hoods lately, and I want to say like three. Three in this bundle, but the one I'm going to talk to you about is a new pattern called the Whistler Hood. This is a pattern by Stricula, I don't know how to pronounce that. And this is available on Ravelry for $7.27. And it is available in English, Danish, Norwegian, and Sweden. So what I really love about this is that you've got the neck coming in close, and you have the, so a lot of hoods you'll see, they're falling down too low. They're not really giving you warmth in this area. But this has the closer fitting neck as well as the hood, which you can also kind of pull down and back to create more of a cowl if you are starting to get overheated. So it is a warm cowl with a spacious hood. The cowl is knitted first in ribbing, then some stockinette. Stitches are picked up for the hood, and the hood is knit back and forth. And there's a drawstring casing with a knitted I-cord. So this does include two sizes. So there's a small/medium and a large. And this is knit in a bulky weight yarn, which is Vams by Roma, which is a 100% wool. And it looks like you're going to need about, let's see, it says your total yardage is 448 to 465 yards. So the Rauma, it's 91 yards to 50 grams, which is definitely heavier than a worsted weight. But I feel like if you had like a good chunky Aran weight, that might also work. So I just think this is so cute. There are 46 of these on Ravelry. Everybody's just looking so darling in their little hoods. It has a really unique, the way that it is shaped and creates that, the hood with the cowl is just so unique. And again, this is going to be great for anybody on your list. So as I said, it comes in two sizes based on what looks like the hood length and circumference. But since this is done in a bulky weight, if you wanted to make this maybe for a kid, you could just use a lighter weight yarn and smaller needles to kind of resize it a little bit without having to do too much math. So again, great for anybody on your list. This is definitely on the list of things. Many, many things I would like to knit for myself, and maybe someday we'll have time. So again, that is the Whistler Hood. All right, this next one is great if you were looking to play with color. And again, I think this is going to be a great use for leftovers and stash busting. This is the Pick Your Plaid hat from the Plucky Knitter design team. This is available on Ravelry for $7. And I just love a good plaid. It says, you Pick Your Plaid features 3 different plaid motifs with endless color pairing possibilities. So the pattern is available in one size. Plucky Knitter is also offering kits. You will need 3 colors of worsted weight yarn. So it does only come in one size. As I said, play with your needle size a little bit. You can work on that. You will need 70 yards of a main color, 70 yards of one contrast color, and then just 35 yards of another contrast color. So great for those project leftovers. There aren't too many projects on Ravelry, but The ones that are here and are adorable, and I bet as we get closer to Christmas, we'll be seeing some more of these. It does say there is some errata, so be sure to check that out. And again, Plucky Knitter is selling kits as well. So if you don't have the ability to stash bust, maybe you're one of the people who does not maintain a stash, you can get kits from them, directly from them, with probably some lovely color combinations. So if you are interested in getting sort of color coordinated, having somebody else do the job of picking out your colors, you can do that over there. So again, that is the Pick Your Plaid hat from Plucky Knitter Design. Now, another one that I think would be probably good for kids and adults, if you're looking again for something a little festive, we have the, I love a good name, the Noel Gnome. And this is just adorable. So I think both kids and adults would like this. So this is a pattern by Sarah Shira, who of course is Imagined Landscapes, and she does all of these different gnomes. And so here is a very festive holiday gnome that is adorable. Like he's got a little Fair Isle sweater and a hat, mittens. He is so cute. So this pattern is available on Ravelry for $9 Canadian or $6.70 US. There are 14 video tutorials linked in the pattern. So if you are, have not done a lot of like amigurumi or knit toys, things like that, she's really got you covered with all of these tutorials. The yarn used or recommended in the pattern is a DK weight yarn, but this is a gnome. You can use whatever you want. It will just come out either bigger or smaller. Oh goodness. And it uses 5 colors. So this is going to be another great stash buster. She does note that her testers who used finger weight yarn ended up with average height gnomes of 10 inches, but the pattern will give you a 15-inch gnome. I assume that includes the hat, but it doesn't say. So this is just adorable. I just love these little gnomes that Sarah does. I have never made one, but I might have to give this little guy a try. I feel like my kids would really like this too. And there are plenty of tester versions. You can check him out with his little beard and his and his stocking cap, and he is ready for Christmas, and I just love him. So that is again Noel or Noel gnome from Sarah Shira. All right, and then the last pattern I'm going to tell you about is actually 2 patterns available from me. This is the Root Cellar hat and mitten set. This is available as a single pattern, so one pattern includes both the hat and the mittens. I just published this last week. I think it's going to be great for your gift knitting list if you have somebody who likes coordinating sets, or maybe you've got, I don't know, family members who like, maybe one gets the mittens and one gets the hat, and that way they're coordinating. So both the hat and the mittens are graded to 3 adult sizes. And they're going to work up pretty quickly in worsted weight yarn. So the yarn shown in the sample is Hobby Friends wool. It's just kind of a regular 100% wool. You can use wool of the Andes, something like that is going to be a good substitute. So there are 2 main design elements in this pattern. So we've got the dip stitch and we've got these decrease cables. So you increase and decrease within the cable, which kind of makes them pop a little bit more out from the fabric. And I've included tutorials for both of those techniques. Other than those, the pattern is very straightforward. Knits, purls, decreases, standard kind of hat and mitten stuff. So I got both the hat and the mittens out of, I want to say 2 balls of the Hobby yarn, but my estimate for each, mittens are going to take between 140 and 180 yards, and then the hat is 190 up to 250. Lots of cable crosses and things that are going to perhaps bump it up a little bit from kind of a plain stockinette. So for whatever reason, Ravelry is saying that Hobby Friends wool is an Aran weight. I definitely would say it's a worsted weight. It's 50 grams, 110 yards or something like that. Pretty standard. So as I said, this is a single pattern. You can get them both together in one pattern file for $10. So I do have a few tester projects you can check out on there. that are also linked on Ravelry. This has been tested, tech edited, and all that good stuff. As I said, worsted weight yarn, it's going to work up quickly, or you can absolutely knit this lovely coordinating set for yourself, because as we talked about in the beginning, you're not required to knit for anybody this holiday season. It is perfectly valid just to knit for yourself. So again, that is my brand new Root Cellar hat and mitten set, and you can find that on Ravelry. All right, and to wrap up, I am offering a giveaway in this video. So please leave a comment. Tell me which of these patterns you would like to knit for somebody on your gift knitting list or for yourself. And I will pick one lucky winner to get a copy of the pattern for free. And I will announce that in 2 weeks. So that will be November 29th. That will be my regular monthly podcast episode. And that is when I will announce the winner. So again, remember to come back and check out that video so you can find out who won, because I don't have a way to get in touch with winners. But I will be giving away one of the patterns that I talked about today of your choice to one lucky winner. Just leave a comment. Speaking of giveaways, 2 weeks ago, I announced the big Knit Picks Yakish yarn giveaway, and I said I would announce the winner today, so here we are. This right here is the winner. Thank you so much to everybody who left a comment and entered the giveaway. This lovely person, please contact me, mediaperuana@gmail.com, and let me know, and I will get your yarn shipped out to you ASAP. Okay, would you like to come up and say hi, or what? Come here. Can you see her? Oh, you see your tail. Pollyanna is deeply invested in the winner of this. There she is, in the winner of this giveaway. She's such a beauty. She's such a beauty, but she has no brain cells, so it's tough. It's a tough life for her. Thank you all for joining me for this video. If you found it useful or educational or entertaining, I hope you will give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. New knitting videos here every Saturday. If you're looking for me on social media, you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Media Peruana, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye.
Hi. What's happening here? Hi. You know, you're not a kitten anymore. You're 2 now.